life, and now I'm found you. I don't know what to do. I think I'm falling for you. I'm falling for you. As I stand here and the old mind moving towards you, and we start to listen all around us. I see nobody here in silence. It's just you and me. I'm trying not to tell you that I want to. Instead of what you say, and so I'm hiding what I'm feeling that I'm tired of. Holding this inside my head. I've been spending all my time to think about you. I don't know what to do. I think I'm falling for you. I've been waiting all my life, and now I found you. I don't know what to do. I think I'm falling for you. I'm falling for you. Oh, I just can't take it. My heart is racing. Emotions keep speeding out. I've been spending all my time to think about you. I don't know what to do. I think I'm falling for you. I've been waiting all my life, and now I found you. I don't know what to do. I think I'm falling for you. I'm falling for you. I think I'm falling for you. I can't think about it. I want you all around me, and now I just can't hide it. I think I'm falling for you. I can't think about it. I want you all around me.